Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Good evening everybody, Militiaman and Crew here again, and I want to say hello and hope everybody had a fabulous Tuesday. And it's been a good day. It's been a really busy day for me. We have had many things going on, but in a good way. Hey, you know what? Everybody has their struggles, everybody has their needs, everybody has their fun. So we have a little mix of that. So hopefully you guys had a great day. Anyway, look, we got a couple things that have been happening that are of interest. Today was somewhat slow, but the truth is that there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes, and we can see that there's a significant amount of push for very large entities around the world that are coming into Iraq, have already been talking and been doing things like that. I mean, the UN and their word salad or acronym salad amount of people that are in Iraq and their connections. I mean, the ITC, I mean, all kinds of different things. ITC is related to the WTO, but all these different acronyms and all these different names are in Iraq. That isn't where I'm going with this today, but ultimately is that you guys can see that the broader scheme of things is that the development plan to go from the Port of Foul into Turkey and on into Europe is 100% on the way. Al-Sudani told us, I believe it was on April 30th of this year, that he had launched that program, and if you remember correctly, the real-time gross settlements was able to be activated at that time. 29th, actually, the day before. We all know that from Al-Alaq. But anyway, at this stage, the government consultant is an article that talks about the adoption of budget schedules has become a reality and does not affect financial obligations. And so when Mohammed Saleh, he's the Prime Minister's financial advisor, he's one of them, he confirms today that the budget schedules have become a reality and the issuance of instructions is a procedural matter that does not affect the financial commitments. This article is pretty intense because I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I highly recommend you guys understand it because he's telling you the meat and potatoes of why we are here, why we are where we are, and what legal authority that they have had to be able to get to this stage. He doesn't give all the answers, and he doesn't give you the smoking gun, but this part of the article, it says in a statement to the Iraqi News, the legal basis for the current fiscal year 2024 is a matter that has been legalized and approved mainly based on the provisions of the federal general budget for the years 2023, 2024, and 2025. And that was issued in law number 13 of 2023, which was published on June 26, 2023 in the official fact sheet. That's another couple words for the Gazette. It says it was stipulated in Article 77 of the law included that the executive authority submits the financial schedules for the fiscal year 2024 and 2025 to allow the House of Representatives to approve them successively, noting that this was achieved in the fiscal year of 2024. Goes on to say the tripartite general budget was applied for the first time in the country, so it had never been done before. I think you guys realize that Taif Sami is going to get credit for that, which was based on, and she's the finance minister, which was based on its adoption on one of the articles contained in the provisions of the amended federal financial management law number 6 of 2019. So they're reverting back, saying we have reason to believe that, or I'm saying that I have reason to believe that what they're talking about there was they were authorized the adoption of a financial plan consisting of general budget for 3 fiscal years, but they can do specific things. They have been given grace to be able to do what they want to do. Basically, it goes on and says legal options available to implement the provisions of the federal budget have become more flexible in front of the federal financial authority, as well as the availability of the federal financial management law itself. So they have flexibility in the law, which allows financial actions even if any approval of the formalities of the general budget is delayed in principle, especially allowing the continuation of spending spending, okay, and disbursement. Spending for operational expenses, or disbursement, or on investment projects approved. So it says continuation of spending or disbursement on investment projects approved in the tripartite general budget as one of the continuous projects, as well as operating spending or any financial action stipulated by the tripartite general budget law. So they have a lot of room to wiggle in there. I'm not a legal guy, and it's over my pay grade, but they have used this, and they're talking about it, and Slay's giving you more and more. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 more paragraphs basically on what he's talking about. But some of the other key points, it says all these activities are financial activities in which spending has not stopped, okay, which is consistent with the legal work rules of the tripartite federal budget, and with what? High flexibility, transparency, and governance. So everybody feels pretty comfortable that what Al Sudani, Taif Sami, Al Alak, based on the law, how they're rolling this out, or what they're doing right now, is that they're capable of having some flexibility. But if they do it properly, it'll have transparency and proper governance, and they can keep moving forward the way that they're doing. Just like that operational side of the budget from 2019 is that it's a, or even sooner, it's a 1/12 situation, so that, you know, certain things get paid. When it comes down to it, to the citizens, they have plenty of room to manage, to be able to say that we're not going to hinder the budget, we're not going to hinder spending, we're not going to hinder operational sides of things. We're going to be able to take care of it, because why? We have, we can make sure that we have the money, but they would use, I believe, is that what the tool that they use are debt instruments, those construction bonds, whatever. They have names for those things. I can't think of the name of that, of the specific one at the moment, but I think I may have it. But it's a debt instrument. But if you think, then you go back and you say, well, if you have a debt instrument and you put out 1.5 trillion dinars in bonds, getting paid back those 1.5 trillion dinars later when they revalue their currency, it becomes far cheaper. So it's kind of a brilliant plan, and they had the flexibility to be able to come up with this legal basis for 23, 24, 25 budget. I think it's Law 13, number 2023, and subsequently Article 277 of the laws involved, and then again they go back to the Federal Financial Management Law number 6 of 2019. So if you guys want to dig into that stuff, you have fun. But I'll tell you what, else when Mohammed Saleh talks, he usually is pretty hopping and knows what he's talking about. So I like it. I think it's a good thing, and we're going to see what they throw at us next. We have a few other things I want to go over. Here's that parliamentarian. It says the central bank executed Iraq's banks with new procedures. It says the parliament, Aliyah Nassif, criticized the central bank measures towards local banks following granting of licensing or licenses to Arab banks to operate inside Iraq, noting that this method will lead to the execution of Iraqi banks. Execution of Iraqi banks. There's going to be a few executions because they just don't want to play by the rules. And if they don't play by the rules central banks agreed to, they're going to probably have problems. And I think we went over this the other day. I think there was 5 banks that probably are not going to have the ability to be able to do business anymore. And so they're talking about that. And some of these folks have political problems or associations. And so ultimately, if you're funding the black market with dollars, or if you're doing illicit trade, it's going to be tough on you. So I think what they tried to do, it's been a while, they probably tried to give these people plenty of opportunity to jump on board. So I'm not saying that I know for a fact, I'm just saying that That's my perception of what they're telling us in their news cycles. So it goes on to say that the National Bank, they said they have license will be granted to 2 banks, which probably upset some people because of the circumstances, but it was Kuwaiti and Qatar. And those 2 banks, some of the people said, well, that's part of the execution process. Well, look, these countries around them that have been granted license, they do trade with Iraq. And it's significantly interesting. Those 2 countries have valuation differences than Iraq by far. And they, to this day, they do. But why would they be wanting to get licenses to do business as normal? They've been doing business. Something's changing. That's the whole idea. Something's different, something's changing, and I'm excited about that. So that's that. On that, it says with the document, with the documents part of the article, it says a parliamentary question to the governor of the central bank about the dollar price. So everybody's talking about this in the news and around, sites and everything else, that Al-Lalak is going to be pinned to the carpet because they're going to question him. So be it. So we'll see how that goes. You guys realize, if you've ever done any research on Al-Lalak's history and his background, comes from a prominent family. He's educated. He's experienced. He's got credentials. He was the central bank governor for four years or so. He moved up to the AMF as, I think, the second in the command. I don't think he ever was the top dog, but he got pretty high up there. And then they asked him to come back, it looks like. And that's why he's been here for now. But he was involved in this process, and it seems to me like, if recollection serves me well, he was ready to get it done. He was handing it off to his predecessor, which didn't get it done. And it didn't get the project to delete the zeros done. But here we are again. And so this time I have a strong feeling that he is going to be successful. I think so, big time. With the document, it says a parliamentary question to the governor of the central bank. It says a council of representatives, the general secretariat, sent a notification to the governor of the central bank of Iraq, Ali Alak, to answer parliamentary question about the dollar exchange rate in the parallel market in a session to be determined at a later time. So obviously he's been summoned, or he's been notification that they want him to show, but they're going to talk to him about the dollar exchange rate in the parallel market. Okay, so you guys got to absorb that. What is the parallel market? Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's an illegal market. It's considered a black market. So I'm pretty sure that the official exchange rate hasn't changed any. The black market has changed. And so if the black market is having problems, and why the people are getting upset, is because they're probably not playing by the rules. They're not doing things that they should be. And therefore, if they're going to the illegal market, they're outside the banking system to some degree. And if you notice recently, Al-Alak was taken and asked to come to an unannounced meeting to Washington. And from the news cycle we had the other day, supports that he might have had a rough time explaining himself for why he hasn't done certain things. And we're going to talk about later tonight in part 2 some of the things that we've been over that are really important, that we probably should rehash, because I don't think everybody got it. But anyway, it says, we refer you to the parliamentarian's questions directed by the representative Hadi Hassan al-Salami to answer his oral questions in presence of the governor of the central bank in the Council of Representatives session. And I just want to remember one thing, is that if you do some research on the people, when you get news feed, you should do some research on who's talking, what's their background, and you'll find that this gentleman had some problems recently, and this year in a defamation suit. And his outcome wasn't very good. Now, granted, it sounds like it was a misdemeanor, but the bottom line is that here he's been Ministry of Trade had a problem with him, and now Al-Sudani, Al-Alak is going to want to be. He wants to question Al-Alak, and so. Hey, you know what? People do make mistakes, but doesn't mean they're not credible. Parliamentary Committee, Parliament will host the Central Bank of the Governor for this reason. This same gentleman, so this is a new article, and this was today. It says the Parliamentary Integrity Committee, Hadi Salami, confirms this statement to the news agencies. The presidency of the Council of Representatives approved hosting the governor of the central bank in the session of the Council of Representatives, the date which will be determined later within the framework of the supervisory role of the central bank and its governor in accordance with the Council of Representatives. And they go on to give you Law 13, 2018, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so he says hosting the governor of the central bank will be to answer oral questions before the Council of Representatives regarding the exchange rate in the parallel market and the large financial difference from the official exchange rate, as well as what is related to the application of the standards of transparency, confidentiality, and not announcing the daily bulletin of the central bank. So I don't know about this gentleman, but anyway, if he digs deep, he's probably going to find that what they're doing is probably one or two things. One, trying to put him on the spot, or two, trying to delve information out so that they can game his reaction. Because one of the things that you're going to find out, and we've already told you about it, is that there's going to be some talk about that the U.S. Treasury will not wait, okay? And they can act at a moment's notice, and that's coming from the higher ups, okay? So anyway, thank you guys for being with me. I just want to let you guys know there'll be a second report, and it'll have some bullet points. Well, one of them is going to be about Al Nasuri, the electronic platform, the Alpha port completion situation, support for the from the Iraqi state to get things done, Federal Reserve adopting a new strategy. They have that. Oil and gas is talking about in the coming days. So thank you for being with me tonight, and we'll see you guys in the next round, next show. Thank you. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.